Hello, my friends. This is Heather. This is amazing. Man, 2023 went super fast, didn't it? So, today's podcast, I'm talking with Ashley Holmes, and she is a holistic fertility coach. But let me tell you, even if you're not trying to conceive, I'm going to suggest that you have a listen because all of the things that she's suggesting to help women conceive and reduce their stress and be healthier applies to everyone, my friends. So have a listen. Let me know what you think. I hope you are having an outstanding day. Take care, my friend. Hi, my friends. Welcome. This is the Back to Me podcast, and this is Heather, and I am super excited that you're here. You are going to hear some tips and some tricks and some ideas to help you live your happiest and healthiest self. I call it Back to Me because when you are taking care of yourself, back to me, then you can take better care of others, and we can all make the world a better place. This is Wellness Your Way, and I am super happy that you're here. Hello, my friend. How are you doing? I hope you're having an awesome holiday season and it's not too stressful and funny. That's what we're going to talk about today. I am talking today with Ashley Holmes from Holistic Fertility Coach Inc. You inked, right?
Yes.
Excellent. Welcome, Ashley. Welcome. It's so nice to see you.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here, Heather.
Yeah. So somebody might wonder, well, the first thing I always wonder is how the heck did you become a fertility coach and a holistic fertility coach?
Really, my path chose me, where over a decade ago, I struggled to conceive and used a clinic and eventually did have twins, but it was hard on me on all levels, physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and I vowed I would never go down that road again, even though I was blessed with twins and didn't think I could conceive naturally or on my own. I had unexplained infertility and there were no answers given to me. And when I landed on my yoga mat and began to dive deeper and began to embrace a holistic lifestyle and bringing mind, body, and spirit back into balance and alignment, I conceived naturally, easily, and very quickly. So
You maybe didn't have to go through all that strain, right?
I maybe didn't, but I feel like that was my path and that was my journey. And that's why I'm here now to help others who are in that space and place because infertility is so prevalent in society.
I wonder if that has to do with the stress of society.
I think that we underestimate the impact that stress is having on our lives on a day-to-day basis. And we are not taking the time to slow down, to reset, and to really tune in and give ourselves what we need at any given moment.
So when they said that, so they said there's nothing wrong with you. You just can't seem to have a child,
There was no given answers. I did all the tests. I did it. I
right?
did all the things, right? And to still walk away, I still walked away thinking, well, what is wrong with me? There was
Right.
no answers because there was nothing visible on any tests.
And often women take the blame of anything that's gone wrong in that kind of context, right? It's like, what's wrong with me? And what did I do wrong? And that just adds to the stress.
Yes. And there's no doubt about it. Infertility is stressful, so we need to be doing something with the stress. Otherwise, it is compounding month after month, and there's no relief, and there's no reset, and there's no reinvigorating and re-energizing and doing all these things that we really need to be doing. And it's slowly just draining and depleting us.
Right. And so you said you went to your yoga mat. What kind of yoga were you doing? I'm
So
just
I was
curious.
practicing yoga for quite a long time, but what really made the difference and what really benefited me was yin yoga and restorative yoga and meditations like yoga nidra, where you're really working with your nervous system. You're really resetting. You're nervous system to come out of fight or flight mode and back into rest and digest mode. And that's really where we need to be for us to conceive with ease, for this to be a natural and easy process, as well as nourishing ourselves in the right way for our unique constitution that we all have.
Right. And it's interesting. I know that Ashtanga yoga, power yoga became super popular in the West, and it was kind of the first yoga that landed here. And I think that it was because it's a very type A kind of practice. And it's not, and people, when I first started, I fully admit, so I've been teaching yoga now for 20 years. And I fully admit when I first started practicing yoga, that's what I started with. And I thought, there's no other yoga than this. I was very hardcore. And then I got injured. And what people don't realize is not all yoga is for all phases of your life, right? I
Yes.
mean, there's different yogas for different days, for different phases, for different times, for different reasons. And being okay with that, because it does help you
Yes.
turn down the stress, right? And come back. And I'd say not even if you're trying to
Absolutely.
conceive, like just as a human being, we need to find a way to reset ourselves and recharge. So when you talk holistic lifestyle, what's your vision of what that means? Because it can mean so many things to so many people.
I'd love to break that down. For me, it means that there are no side effects for anything that you do. There is only positive benefits. So, this is being mindful of what we're eating, what we're thinking, how we're breathing, how we're moving our body, our energy, our stress, all of these things that we have within our control. Because often we feel like this is happening to us and I have no control or say over what is happening. And when you harness what is within your control and within your power, then you are empowered. And from that place, you make better choices and you feel better, and your energy is back where it should be. And it just has a positive ripple effect in all areas in your life.
Right, yeah, and I think sometimes it's because that kind of fatigue and not feeling as good as you could sneaks up on you, so you don't even recognize sometimes where you are, right? Or you think that's normal.
Yes. Or you've been doing it for so long, you don't have the resources and tools. Even if you want to help yourself, you're not really in a place to help yourself. And sometimes having that support, that guidance, for whatever you're experiencing in the moment, whether that could be you've had a miscarriage or a failed cycle of IVF, moving through that instead of energetically storing that and holding on to it in your body is so powerful and so healing.
Right, and so, when you were going through it, did you have to come up with your own kind of holistic approaches? Was there any supports at that time? I don't even know how long, fertility coaching has been around. Or was this just your own creation?
I because of the pandemic, that was my silver lining, was
Oh,
going from just teaching yoga meditation to just feeling called to do this and not looking into the space at all, just knowing that people need this and that
right,
this should be offered because there is all the medical intervention you want available, but there should be something to help women alongside of that if that's the route that they choose, because you're more than your physical body. And when you experience that and embody that, then infinite possibilities are open to you.
right. So you kind of had to find your own way to this lifestyle that helped you,
I saw how it transformed me and my life and brought life to me. And I just felt honored and obligated almost to share this
right?
with others because often it's not being ingrained in us or the way we were brought up or the way that we have lived so far. If something's wrong, quote unquote, go to the doctor.
Right.
And there's more available to us.
There is much more available, and I do find that Western medicine tends to focus on, if there's nothing, no disease that they can cure, they don't know what to do with it, right? So the stranger, stress-related, unexplainable syndromes, they often put it into syndromes, IBS and chronic fatigue. Oh, we don't know why. So, yeah, we can't help you. Right? So just don't eat these foods and just get some rest. And I mean, I know that some practitioners will are start to come around and start to look at other things to help that are from a more, for lack of better way to describe it, more of an Eastern tradition or a whole body tradition, naturopathy and homeopathy and acupuncture and yoga and qigong and so many ways that we can help these bodies that carry us around,
Yes.
without having to use medication or, you know, all the other things that we try to do to stress ourselves out. Um, so when are you do you work with women? I guess you work with women. Do you ever work with men?
I am dedicated to helping women, and that's where my heart and my passion lies. And I'm happy to refer Ben to people that I know within this space because
Right?
I really feel like, as a woman having experienced this, not that I can't help them, but I feel like I can help women so much better.
Right. I'm just thinking like I sometimes women take all the blame, but sometimes, it takes two to make a baby. So
Yes.
so sometimes they're both stressed out. So both sides aren't working at their ideal. So when you're working, do you do one-on-one? Do you work with people one-on-one or do you work in
Yes,
groups or
it is purely one-on-one, individualized to meet women where they're at, to honor their journey so far, and to co-create their future and to optimize their health and wellness to the best of their ability because that's what we're all here for. We shouldn't be having painful periods. We shouldn't be low in energy and fatigued and surviving. So moving from that state into a state of thriving.
right? Yes. My program's called Thriving Life Method, so I'm all about thriving. I agree 100%. So when you give me an idea. So will you I guess you would encourage them to do yoga, but having taught yoga a long time, I know some people won't gravitate to that or embrace that kind of idea. But there's more to movement than just yoga. Um, but I'm trying to think of what holistic eating is like. Like, do you
Ayurveda is really what I use
oh,
because it
okay.
is, the science of life and healing of the mind and body. So to determine someone's constitution and their predominant dosha, so whether they're vata, pitta, or kapha, and then to offer yoga poses, breathing practices to support that, as well as the nutrition aspect of what foods they could be eating that are putting them out of balance and what foods are nourishing for them because healthy in modern terms for someone isn't necessarily nourishing for them, and there's a big difference there and a big gap there that I don't think we realize.
Yeah, I think that's very true. So I actually had totally forgotten that. Sorry, I apologize for that. That you did have that Ayurveda aspect to your practice. And I guess for people who have never heard of it, you described it a little bit, but do you have something for your person who knows nothing to explain what Ayurveda is?
Yeah, it's the science of life and the healing of the mind and body. And so it's working with the seasons, it's working with the elements, it's working with your sleep and all areas and aspects of your life to bring you back into a state of harmony and balance. And it's often, the missing piece. And it's also looking at all aspects of you as a whole person, all of your koshas, all of your layers, you as a whole being versus just one aspect of yourself.
So we've talked doshas and koshas, and I guarantee you not everybody knows what those are. I know what they are. So doshas, from my friend Ashley.
Doshas are you're either predominantly typically Vata, Pitta, or Kapha. And for myself, I am Pitta, so I have fire energy and water energy within me. So for myself, I stopped doing hot yoga a long time ago because that puts me further out of balance, even though that is what drew me to yoga in the first place. But often things that we're drawn to aren't necessarily what we need.
Right. And I know there's lots of online quizzes and things, and your dosha is, helps you figure out, I guess, what kinds of movement, what kinds of foods you need. It's almost like a I don't want to like reduce it to body type, but it's almost like a body type in some ways.
Yeah, that's a piece and a part of it.
Mhm.
And, there's many aspects that I look at as well, like even your hands and like just your features, just how you are in this world helps to determine this and can help you live in accordance to what is best and best suited for you so that you feel your best.
Right.
And that's really knowledge that's not out there typically.
I remember the first book I read on Ayurveda. So physically, I'm a kapha, but my brain is Pitta.
Okay.
So, so I'm always in conflict with myself. Um, but that's okay. It's a fun ride. But I remember reading a book about what kapha, the eating practices, and I was highly discouraged.
Really?
Yes, I was on an airplane with a bunch of my yogi friends. We were coming back from India, and I turned to one of them and said, "I can't eat anything." But that's not totally true. But it is true. Things that people think are healthy aren't necessarily healthy for every single person. So, that whole apple a day, everybody eat an apple a day. Now, don't know that it's related to my dosha, but apples do not agree with me. So that will not make me feel good. But we also talked about koshas, and koshas are dun, da, da.
They are the layers of your being. So you start with your outer layer, which is your physical body, and then you move deeper and deeper through your emotional body and your mind body, and you get to your bliss body, which is who you truly are at your core. And it's a really deep way to know yourself and connect with yourself and to sort of peel back all those layers that aren't truly you that
Right.
have been conditioned and limiting beliefs and patterns and habits that we've picked up along the way.
Yes, we pick up many habits as we travel through life. They're neither good nor bad, but they may not serve. So,
Yes,
and changing
precisely.
them is what everybody struggles with. Changing their
Yes,
habits.
but
Go
we can't
ahead.
start anywhere without awareness. So it's, awareness. I get my clients to like document everything that passes your mouth for a week and we move from there because without awareness, we have to know what we're doing on a daily basis to make shifts and changes. And it doesn't have to be all or nothing, but we
Right.
can definitely tweak some things and make some shifts.
Yeah, and you don't wanna try and change everything at once anyway, because
No.
if you're already overwhelmed, you're just gonna make it worse. So do you
Yes.
generally start with, diet? Is that where you generally start, or does it depend on the person?
It depends on the person. I completely operate on sort of what they need the most at this given time. I mean, there's a wealth of information that I'm happy to share, but what do they truly need in this moment?
Right.
What or where are they? And I get them to assess that, where are they struggling the most right now? It
Yeah.
may be their nutrition, it may not. It may be their mind, you know? So let's start with some meditations. You know, it may be their energy. They may be feeling so depleted from everything that they've gone through that, that we're starting with their chakras first.
Right. And for people who don't know, chakras are your energy
Mm.
centers. Everybody knows what chakras are. Come on. uh, I don't know if everybody who listens is a yogi. So I want to help them navigate to make sure that they're getting the gist of everything. And they make a beautiful rainbow through your body. That's how I
Yes,
always
they
envision
do.
it. And if actually the koshas make a beautiful rainbow too, the representations that I've seen of it, of the koshas, are a beautiful rainbow. So everybody out there, you're all beautiful rainbows, my friends.
Yes.
And even if you aren't looking to conceive, I mean, I'd say all of the practices are beneficial regardless.
Yes, I've been told you should teach this to everybody. Everybody should have this information. And I was like, yes, everybody should have this information. And maybe one day I'll put it out there in a broader way. But for right now, I am focused on helping women who are trying to conceive.
And that's a good thing, because I know there are women who struggle and they don't know what's going on, they don't know why, and they really want to start families. I throw out the everyone needs it for the people who are not interested in conceiving but should still go out and investigate. And there's other Ayurvedic practitioners who would, I guess, assist. Do Ayurvedic practitioners always incorporate all the different aspects of it? I'm not really sure. Like movement
Well,
and diet and meditation
maybe
and
not
breath?
movement, but they would definitely do like the supplements and the herbs and all of the things that go along with your dosha
Right,
because those are just beneficial to know and to have and to try to incorporate in any way that you can.
right.
Depending where you live, it may depend what is available to you, but
Do you find that for each dosha, there's a common, challenge that each one has that's different?
Vatas typically are very much, overthinking, overanalyzing, very much in their heads, and they really need to be grounded. They really need to, you know, have that centered, grounded energy. And pitas typically kind of burn out, they're hot and cold kind of thing. And it's like to keep that flame sort of burning, not too brightly and not too dimly, right?
Right,
So at certain times you need those other aspects, but on the whole, you don't want to be going to extreme either way. And when you notice that things are starting to become unbalanced, then to take the time to course correct before you need to rest or be in bed for a set amount of time.
right. And then
And
d
kappas
yeah.
often they need a little bit of fire under them, right? They need a little bit of just they're very grounded and centered people. And sometimes they just need, that spark to get going and to uh, get moving in the right direction. And they are fabulous, speakers, typically leaders, and those types of things.
I always describe, as I have a lot of inertia. It's like, I just once I get going, I can really keep going, but just takes a little bit of stuff to get moving. And then, of course,
Yeah.
my brain's always 10 steps ahead of my body. It's like, "Really?" So I also teach a form of Tai Chi, and often my mouth will be talking and my body's not done with the previous move. It's like, "Could you wait till I catch up?"
Right.
It's so funny.
That makes sense.
Oh my goodness. Yes, um, and I've seen it in other people, that somebody who is just goes, and then crashes, like, that's like that up and down is not healthy. And I've taught yoga to people who, um, don't know that they have elbows, that they can bend their elbows. It's like, yeah, I had a lady once, I said, bend your elbows. And she was just looking at them and just could not translate out of her head to a body movement how to bend her elbows. So none of those are like, none of them are bad, but it's just different ways to go through the world. And I guess it's when things are out of balance. And this is true of everything in life. When it's out of balance is when we feel less healthy, ideal,
Yes.
something like that. And
And
yeah, go ahead.
oft often women will go to acupuncture to help with their fertility, to help them to conceive. And there's different ways to do things. And yin yoga works in the same way as going to acupuncture, where you're clearing your meridian lines. You're working with your energetic body in that way without leaving your house, from the comfort of your home without needles. And
Right.
I'm all about non-invasive fertility because I don't feel like anybody enjoys that or loves that. No one walks into a clinic feeling not stressed and, you know, not
Yeah.
on edge. And really there's a lot that we can do for ourselves to be in our optimal state of health.
It is so true. And I guess it's not, some people might think it takes too much time, often. And I think it's more prevalent these days that women are waiting longer to have families. And then they feel that pressure of time's running out, time's running out. I have to do this. So they've got that added stress. And the opposite is what they need. And so when you're helping people, do you find that there's a timeline that usually people fall into where they've noticed differences and start to feel those
Oh,
switches?
the 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 shifts are big and they feel them soon, and they feel them as soon as they start implementing them, from sleeping better, more energy, to less painful periods that aren't as long, that don't have all these other things going alongside of them. And I offer Reiki when and if their period comes, so that they can just, be. And I know that's never a fun time of the month and not something anybody wants to see when they're trying to have a baby. And so to just offer that support and to just, clear their energy and let's start fresh, let's start renewed.
Right? Yes. And it is a time where you're supposed to rest anyway. I mean,
Yes.
it's a time of some depletion, and then you're supposed to charge your batteries back up. But we don't stop moving. We are 24/7, let's go, 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 go kind of world. And that's not not conducive to anything good, really. It's like we've all forgotten how to take vacation. Do you find that?
Yes, and often, it's like, okay, I'll relax when. No, no, we don't want to relax when. We need to incorporate that on a day in, day out basis, do something for your mind, body, and spirit every single day. And then you don't need and aren't depleted and like falling sick on vacation, because that is often what happens to people too, is okay, now I can finally relax. And then your body just completely is shutting down because it's so depleted and drained from just going 24/7. And we're cyclical beings, we're not meant to be living like that.
Right. Yeah. And it's like, I'll relax when is like saying I'll do it tomorrow. And neither of those ever come, because the thing that you're waiting for won't come because you're stressed out, right? I'll relax when XYZ. And I was just remembering something that left my head. Phew, it went out the back door. That's okay. It's okay. But people do get sick on vacation all the time. And uh, even when people are on vacation now, they rarely actually go on vacation because they don't turn off their emails. They don't step away from the social medias because they want people to know I'm on vacation. We should find a cure for FOMO is what we should find a cure for. Oh my
We really,
gosh.
yeah. We need to
Right.
just focus on you, focus on what you need, focus on how you're feeling and what is going to make this a more easeful and peaceful process. And when you can do that, your fertility journey, everything stops feeling so hard and you
That's why
stop
it's the
feeling so
Back to Me,
stuck.
right? Back to Me podcast. It got its name on purpose after I had my stroke. Yes, it's time to take care of you. And in taking care of you, you actually can take better care of the people around you that you care about, right? Um,
Yes, for sure.
the, do, do you help women after they've conceived or just for the fertility side?
They have the option to it's a 4-month program and they can renew monthly thereafter, but then they have that basis, that foundation, because what we do now affects the egg quality 3 to 4 months to now. So really to take that concentrated energy and effort to focus on themselves, and then I can see them through the first trimester if they wish. We can change our yoga to prenatal types of yoga and those types of things, but everything they're doing is really helping them to have an easier delivery, a quicker recovery, and to help them on the other side too when the baby is here, because they have all these tools and resources to know how to refuel themselves and replenish themselves with a newborn, because anybody who's had a newborn knows how tiring that can be.
That's what I was thinking because, there's all that whole journey of getting there. And then when you get there, and if if you weren't prepared, sometimes it's like, oh my God, what did I do? I need some sleep. I don't have time to eat. I can remember my sister not even have time to have a shower unless someone came over and helped her. So that time itself, I guess they just continue to use those same tools to help keep them replenished so that they have an easier time even through that, infant stage.
That's what I'll speak to my own experience of, needing an emergency C-section with my twins, having, a 6-week recovery and being hard to bend over, to feed, to bathe, to change, all of these things. And having a singleton pregnancy, going hiking when my water broke, having the baby naturally and being back at Baby and Me yoga 10 days later, 9-day difference.
That's a massive difference. Are you kidding me?
Massive. But it was me stepping into and owning my own power and knowing how to work with and tune into my body and follow my intuition. And I didn't have that before,
Right.
and I learned all of these things for a reason and for a purpose. And that's why I share them.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Um, so before we run off, your website is
Holistic Fertility Coach Inc.
Inc. Oh, it's a
Yes.
long one, isn't it? Okay, don't
Yes.
worry, everybody. I'm going to put it in the show notes. It's a long website. So I'll put it in the show notes so people can click on it and go and find you. But before you go, I always give the guest the final word of wisdom for the audience.
My final words of wisdom are to trust your body and to listen to your body and to tune into your body and give it what it needs on a daily basis and find what you can for mind, body, and spirit every single day.
That's amazing. I think everybody should follow that final word of wisdom. Thank you so much, Ashley, for joining us. Thank you for sharing your passion and your calling. And definitely, it's advice that everyone should take. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Heather.
Take care, everybody. Hi, my friend. Thanks so much for listening to this entire podcast. If you found it useful and you're like me and you like helping others, please feel free to share this. Give it a like, give it a comment. If you found something useful in it, there's a chance that someone else will find something useful as well. Also, if you have any questions at all, I can absolutely help and I would love to help. You can email me at heather@prosperityflowcoaching.com. If you want more of this awesome content, you can follow me on Instagram, Heather Stewart Coaching. You can follow me on Facebook, Prosperity Flow Coaching. And I have a personal request. I want to help as many people as I can with these podcasts. And if you could give me a review, hopefully a good one, if you could share, if you could send this out into the world, I would truly appreciate it. I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope that you find your way to wellness by getting back to me. Take care, my friend.